Hello, 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 hello.
Hello.
Good to see everybody in the chat. Before we get into like intros and talking about what we're doing, let's just give a few minutes for everybody to join. Looking in the chat, Emily. Hey, long time no see. What was it? Talent 42, maybe a few years ago, the last time we met in the community. Tammy, good to see you again in this event as well. We have a few people joining over here on Riverside. We're also live streaming on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and also on our Facebook page, where you can comment and all that. But we're also doing an open Q&A at the end of this call. And if you want to join that, the URL to that is just below my face over here. If you go on that website and you join the call over here, you'll be able to like actually come on screen and ask questions from us and go back and forth. Okay. Should we start? Are we 2 minutes over? Should we say that everybody's here? Okay, then let's rock and roll. Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Kovac, and I'm here to represent the first event under the Open Talent Society. You might have known us and seen us before under the name of the Sourcing Seven. Still the same crew, just a bit bigger and with bigger ambitions. We quickly realized that, well, in this ever-changing world of AI coming for our jobs, this our way of solving it and our way of learning about it cannot be just in this like sourcing small bubble that we are in. It needs to be more. It needs to be about the whole people industry. We need to come together and figure things out together. So that's why we created the Open Talent Society, a 501c3 charitable organization, a nonprofit over here on the West Coast, where our mission is to create a space where we can learn from each other and with each other. And this is our first effort, first trial, I don't know what to call it, to do a webinar. And what better thing to talk about is to create custom GPTs and custom chatbots for recruiting. But before we get there, we have a new face on screen, and I'm extremely excited to introduce Jake Lee to everybody. Who, I know, man, you're either very lucky or very, very, very unlucky with your timing, right? Like, I call you the AI first sourcer, but you are living through the joy of joining this industry, of joining this domain and profession right at the beginning of the AI boom. So excited to have you here. Do you want to quickly do an introduction and share what you're up to, and what is your relationship with AI?
Yeah, I'm new to sourcing recruiting. I've been calling myself an AI first sourcer. And what that means is I do sourcing recruiting work, and mostly I'm assisted by bots, and eventually I'll probably be replaced by bots. So I'm pivoting to how do I adjust my business once I get replaced, which is exciting and scary, but it's been really fun, and I'm doing a lot of building and automating recently, so I'm excited.
Oh, you say a lot about the excitement and the scariness, and
Yeah.
also let's not forget the ever-changing nature of this world. Um, After you realize that, like, holy ass, like, what did I get myself into? How do you stay up to speed? Like, how are you living this life of the AI first sourcer who is not falling behind?
Um, I do that with a custom GPT, actually, mostly. I built a GPT that has a like link of lists that I have built on like podcasts, stuff that I trust, and every day it pings me and says, "Hey, you might not know about this, so maybe check it out." And then I go through there in my free time and I just keep up to date. Also, there's some big names that it like. I don't know if you've seen like Sander Schulhoff. He released a sourcing report. I think it's called the prompting report. That was immediately notified to me, but not just like my GPT notifies me immediately, like, hey, this is something big. But yeah, mostly just notifications to my phone, and I have that all set up with ChatGPT actually.
Cool stuff, and I'm really happy that you said like, oh, you are actually using a custom
Yeah.
GPT for this, because that's a really good segue into the topic of these conversations, right? And creating
Hmm.
custom GPTs, and why should you create one and all that. But before we get into the why should you create one, I think it's a good introduction to give some use cases of what other things can custom GPTs be used for. What are you using it for? So you have this like news updater, news researcher pings you every morning about like what's going on. What else do you use any other custom GPTs for anything else?
Yeah, recently I built because I've been bad handwriting. I've built a GPT. I gave it a bunch of examples of like my handwriting because lately when I listen to podcasts and stuff, I don't want to be on the computer. So I actually built a GPT that takes like photos of my notes from my notebook here. Like I've got a notebook right here. Uh, it looks at my notes and then helps me like put them into a digital format. Just because my handwriting is, we could say, like unique. I just have bad handwriting, and so GPT couldn't recognize it. So I built one that like transcribes my notes for me,
Awesome.
which
Like
is a
I
very personal use case, but it's
yeah,
awesome.
like I let's just say my handwriting is also a little bit unique, let's phrase it that way.
Yeah,
And I thought that it's like so unique that I haven't even really tried like, creating a photo of it and sharing it and all that. But very good example. I'll try
yeah.
with my unique handwriting as well. To also give some other examples, like let's actually talk about like what we're doing over here, and the examples that we use will actually build them over here as well.
Hmm.
So we are planning, and this is for the audience, we are planning to create a multi-episode like building series, where first we focus on like different custom GPTs, how to build them, how to make them better, how to improve them, how to create like different variations of that, right? So in this episode, we'll start with just talking through like, what the heck is this? Why would you do it? Where is it? How it works? And we'll build a basic one. This basic one will help you create sourcing strategies and kind of like a starting points when you're starting to hiring for a job. In the next episode, we'll go and create another variation or enhanced version of this that we will not teach it because the AI already knows it, but we will give it information around how to be a good sourcer, how to write good sourcing strings, search strings. So that will be the second episode. Teasing that in early on is that in 2 weeks, if you want to create a sourcing little bot that writes you the Boolean strings, we'll teach you how to do that in 2 weeks. But this episode will be about creating your first ChatGPT custom chatbot that will help you ideate and brainstorm and create sourcing strategies for
Hmm.
any job. Just to think through some other use cases for people, I'll share some personal examples. Because I feel that a lot of times when it's about like AI and using AI and what to use it for, people are like, work, 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 work. Like that's the
Hmm.
only thing in
Yeah.
their mind. It's like, it must be work. And no, it doesn't need to be all about work. It could be personal. And I would even say that starting with a personal use case is the best way to start it, because
Hmm.
it's low stakes, low friction, low risk. And for example, in our household, every Saturday is movie night. And how we play that game is that both myself and Clara, my partner in crime, we switch each week. One recommends 3 movies and the other one chooses out of those three of like, what do we watch? And that's cool and all, right? Like the first few weeks you have recommendations and all that, but after a few weeks or a few months, this became like a cumbersome, going
Hmm.
through IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, what's streaming, what's on Netflix, etc., etc., etc. So we are like, perfect example to build a custom chatbot on. So now we have the movie matchmaker that knows what type of movies we like, knows the rules of the game, and recommends movies for us. And I think that is the important piece over here, is the rules of the game. And that answers the question of, when should I create a custom GPT? What is the actual
Hmm.
use case of it? Because you're not, I want to highlight that you're not creating something or enabling some sort of function that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
Basically, what you're doing is that when you have repetitive tasks and you feel that you need to reinforce the same message, redo the same system instruction, that this is what I'm doing, this is how I like it, this is what I want you to do, and you don't want to restart that over and over and over and over again, that's when you create a custom GPT. Think about it as a prepared templated conversation starter a lot of times. And let me actually share a screen, because this might be easier to show through than to talk through. Okay, let's just quickly go over here on ChatGPT. And before we even get started, just talking about like accessing these and all those things. Whatever we build will be shared with everybody in the audience, and also with everybody just in general and publicly, because we believe in open source. We think that the knowledge should not be gate kept in a way that we don't provide access, especially if we are a nonprofit. So everything that we build and how we build it will be shared. So the custom GPT that we build right now will be shared with everyone. The system instructions and everything that we do behind it, the text data will also be shared, will be up on our website. And important note about custom GPTs is that while yes, you might need to create a free ChatGPT account to use it, but you need a paid account to build one. So that is sort of the differentiator between the two. Like, you can go and use custom GPTs and use OpenAI's custom bots and all that with the free account, but you will need some sort of paid account to be able to build one for yourself. So let's talk about custom GPTs and where are they. And actually, let me zoom in so you all see my screen. Let's go to 200%. Okay, here we go. So when you are on when you go up on ChatGPT, over here on the side, you have two options. You have, well, a lot of options, but you have GPTs and projects. And one additional question that can, sometimes can come up is that, so why would I use a project and why would I use a custom GPT? It seems the same, right? Like they do the same things. But before I answer that, like, Jake, do you use both? Do you have any preference on when to use a project and when to use a custom GPT?
Yeah, I use projects mostly now as a way of storing information, but I was using projects kind of like a custom GPT for a while. I think for me, the difference between creating a project or just talking to ChatGPT or creating a custom GPT is if I need something that understands at the beginning of the conversation, like who I am, who it is, and then how it's supposed to work with me to help me.
Mm,
So, like, maybe it understands it is a market intelligence. I saw somebody mention that
mm,
it's a market intelligence, say, strategy expert, and it understands that I have a certain level of understanding of that subject, but I'm trying to target a certain demographic already. You can build that into the GPT, and then as soon as you start talking, you're on the same sort of field. You don't have to set up the context. So that's when I would differentiate between the two.
In addition, another thing to add in here, and I'll create a project as well, so we can share side by side, and let's call it like Builder Series webinars, because what you were saying, the description of, oh, it knows me and it knows all those things, is true for both cases, right? Like in case of projects, you use what's called the instruction set. Like, this is where you put, this is who I am, this is what I like to do, this is how it works. And in a custom GPT, we have the same thing, is the instruction set, where, and I know I clicked a lot and ran a little bit ahead. We'll go step by step and we'll go back over here. But I just wanted to show that we have this like instruction set for both cases, where you set the rules and give the recommendations around like how to talk about what do you already know and what is the knowledge base of it, right? Like what files does it have access to? I think one of the big differences between the two is that projects, that's for you, right? Like that's think about it as a folder. Like every conversation that happens in this folder has this like set of rules, but every conversation is there within the folder. And if you are, for example, working at the company where you have a team, or it's more than just you can share this folder with others, with coworkers, etc., and they will also see the conversations, like previous conversations of other people in that folder. Versus a GPT is just a one bot conversation that you can reference and call in everywhere, but you can also share that externally with everyone. So a project is a place where you talk, and that place has the knowledge about you and the instruction set that you set. And a custom GPT is something that you talk to that also has the same set of information and knowledge about you, and it's more easily shareable externally. So the added value of a custom GPT is that it's all about control, right? Like you can take a custom GPT and set up permissions in a way that maybe you share it with the client or you share it with a candidate. You might not want to share, right, like a project or a folder with the client or anything like that. Here's a question before we remind me if we can share a project at work if our colleagues do not have a paid account. No. So, and that's the thing about like projects, is that projects are internal. Like projects are like folders. Like think about it as, you know, a folder on your Google Drive. Like you can, and at your company's Google Drive, like you only share that internally. A custom GPT, on the other hand, if when you're sharing it, you set it to public, you can share it with everybody and they don't need to have a paid account. But for projects and work and all that, you will need that paid account. Very good question from Tammy. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, let's rock and roll. Let's create a GPT then. Or actually, before we create one, let's show some others, because I know that creating something from scratch, it is daunting, it is a lot, it is where do I click, so many functions, all that. So, and a lot of times you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So the good thing is that ChatGPT has this like marketplace, if we can call it, under the GPTs menu over here on the left. There is like explore GPTs. And you see there are like all sort of things. Like there is a Canva GPT over here. There's an Expedia GPT over here. There is like Scholar. There is like image generations. There are like writer GPTs. Like these are custom chatbots that others created and are sharing publicly. And they are just like ranked based on usage as any other like marketplace does. Before I start searching, like Jake, do you use any of these? Like have you used pre-created custom GPTs by others?
I've definitely experimented with a lot, especially as I was doing sourcing. There are actually, if you look up like sourcing or Boolean builders, there are some. Less so now. I tend to use GPTs. I make them all the time because like one project might need one. I build it, I delete it later. So less so now, but yeah, there are some really good ones, especially the image generation ones. I've used those just for some cool projects.
Right. So one thing to bear in mind with using other people's GPTs is think about it as like apps, right? It's other person's creation. Like you don't know what's in the background of it. You don't know if it's like sending some API calls anywhere else. You don't know what is the knowledge set behind it. Like you just don't know what's the back end of it, as with any application, right? So
Absolutely.
and this is a word for caution to everybody. You're out on the internet, right? Like it's a wild place out there. So as you wouldn't, click on malicious URLs, as you wouldn't download applications on your phone that look a little bit iffy or you don't know what they do, or as you wouldn't put like personally identifiable information like candidate information or personal information into just random places on the internet, you should exercise the same level of caution when is about using and inputting data under any custom GPT that's built by others. But let's get over here. I just show you a list over here. I just search for Recruit, and there's like Recruit GPT by Akshat, Recruiter GPT by Robin. There is some Boolean string generator by Andrew Schultz, Recruitment GPT by Cybergroup PSA, some company, the AI Recruiter by Mike Wolford, some other recruiting assistants, Super Recruiter. One thing that you can maybe do to judge how good a GPT is like just look at the amount of people like using it. Somebody in the chat, well, you asked for it, so let's see if it comes up. No results find. So it's just 1x. Okay.
It could be.
Sourcing Express. Nothing found. Well, whoever recommended that, you might want to check your sharing settings on that. But coming back over here, it's a bit slow and all that, but come on, load already. Here we go. I'll choose the first one because why not? You see a little bit of rate, as with any web marketplace. You see like a website, you see their LinkedIn, you see how many conversations were there, and what's the rating of it. So if you're using somebody else's, this is how you can judge around like which one can you use, should you use, and all that. But I definitely recommend everybody just go and explore. If like building your own is a bit daunting, like let's start with like first exploring. Before we get into like building itself, I'll just stop for a quick second over here. Any questions, comments, fears, anything to put out there from the audience, feel free to comment everywhere because the LinkedIn and Facebook live stream comments will come in. Okay, we have the correct name over there. We won't do any demos. This is not a product demo session over here. But now that we have the correct name, everybody's free to go and try it out and do that. But yeah, coming back to the audience, any last minute questions, anything like that before we get into like building? Nothing.
If we don't have any questions, I was teaching a buddy recently how to build some
Okay.
GPTs. His question was, is there anything he needs to know in advance before he starts building? Like he was freaking out about
such a good
prompt
question.
engineering, et cetera, or can you just start building?
So I think the answer to this question is twofold. The first answer is no, you don't need to know anything. You don't need to know like prompt engineering, because I truly believe prompt engineering is a fad. We've seen a blip on the career radar over there of like things popping up as prompt engineering. The future of prompting is plain old English. So you don't need to know anything like technically or anything like that. But at the same time, there is like a hard rule of like, yes, you have to know. And what is that is, what do you want to build? Right? Like there is this like old saying from like, I think it was like Lincoln of give me an hour to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first 50 minutes sharpening the axe. Glenn Caddy, a legend in the sourcing and recruiting space, started teaching and sharing Boolean knowledge many years ago, like a decade plus ago, and maybe a decade ago he had this article, or maybe it was a presentation, where he said like, give me an hour to find a candidate and I'll spend the first 50 minutes like crafting my Boolean string, or something along those lines. And the same is true over here as well. Like, before you build a custom chatbot assistant, you got to think through, what do I want to build? What's the purpose of that? What instruction sets do I want to give? And what context does this chatbot need to know about me, about its purpose, clients, like anything like that. So that is absolutely needed beforehand to know what you want to build and think through what you actually need for that to be good. Does that answer? I went on a longer-winded soapbox thing over here, so I'll get off my soapbox and ask if does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay, so let's show it how easy it is because it's like extremely conversational. In this session, we'll build a very basic one. The whole purpose of this session is for the audience to learn, what buttons to click and what's available. And in 2 weeks, we'll go into the more not advanced, but the more advanced ways of configuring and improving and doing all those things. So how do you get here? You go on the main site of chatgpt.com, you open up the sidebar, you go under GPTs over here on the left, it opens up this page, and in the upper right, there is this little create button that you push, and it brings you to this page, and you see there are like two tabs over here on the left. There is the create and there is the configure, and the configure one is a little bit more daunting. It's kind of like the advanced settings page of a custom GPT, versus the create one is a very conversational one. So I think for this session, let's focus on the conversational creation of a custom GPT. And in the next session, we'll go and configure the hell out of it and create a sourcing GPT. But what you can do is, as I was saying, it is plain English. So in this little view, you just tell it like, and here is another trick. Hopefully it works. The demo gods will be with us or not. We shall see. Just a trick around like using AI. There's little fingers that you have. What's your word per minute? Like how many words do you type per minute? These are a bottleneck, right? Like how much you can type in there and how fast and how structured you are. It can become a mess. But speaking to your AI works really well. So you just dictate what you want. So let's see if it works. Demo gods, please be with me. Of course, I need to allow it. Okay, it's working. Hey, and funny enough, second try I do it, it doesn't work. Oh my gosh,
no.
The demo gods are not with us. Let me refresh and see. Microphone is there. Hello. I want to create a custom GPT that will help me create a sourcing strategy for different jobs that I'm working on. As an input, I'll give some information about us, and I will share the exact job description with the custom GPT. And I want my custom GPT to have questions and interview me for additional information that is needed to create a good candidate sourcing strategy. And based on my inputs, I want the custom GPT to actually create a entry-level starting point for a sourcing strategy for the job that I post in or share with this custom GPT. Carl, yeah, the magic of live streaming, it's always with us. But hey, it works, right? Like blah, blah, blah. Direction is correct. Probably there are some typos, but let's rock and roll. Let's push it and see what happens. And see, it's working on it. It's updating the GPT. It's fairly...
It's coming pretty quick.
It can come pretty quick. Maybe today. Here it is. All set. Your sourcing strategy assistant is ready. It will interview you to collect details about each job and then generate a tailored sourcing strategy, complete with channels, Boolean strings, personas, and outreach ideas. Boom. Here we are.
There we go.
Let me hit create. And let me say, even everybody with the link. You know what? I'll even put it up on the GPT store. Or maybe not yet, because a lot of times it goes to like approval and all that. So I want everybody with the link to be able to see this and play around with this. Let me actually, I went under view GPT. That's not what I wanted to do. I just wanted the URL. I'll put it into the chat. Oh, it's already in there. Okay, somebody else already put it in. Or it's actually, our live streaming. I see. I just got confused around our streaming platform. This is the first time of us using it. And I saw my own posts coming back
Yeah.
from the different social media sites. Anyways, so it is created, but before we actually use it, I want to go back to, so now I created this. Where do I find it? Where do I edit it, right? You are on the website, chatgpt.com. There's this like GPTs over here on the side. You click on that, and look over here on the top, there's the My GPTs button that if you click, it's here and you can chat with it. But if you don't want to do this all the time, and this, by the way, works with any custom GPT, not just yours, it works with the ones that you find on the good old internet, is that when you open it, this little like drop down over here has this keep in sidebar button, which pins it, right? Put it over there, and there it is on in my side. Here is the sourcing strategy assistant, and I saw, and we need to mention it. I saw a little pop up over here from ChatGPT trying to sell Codex and Atlas and calling it agentic, and those are true agentic solutions. And I know everybody wants agents who, it's weird. Everybody's afraid that AI will come and take their jobs, but everybody wants agents that does the people's jobs instead of them. So this is not that. This is
Yeah.
a custom GPT is here for you to collaborate and co-create with it. But what do you think, Jake? Do you want to take over and try it out? Share it on the screen and let's see how it works. And we'll do one improvement round based on
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
we see with it. And maybe one thing that you can use is that we, by the way, this is a shameless plug to everybody. We do have an open volunteer position for a board secretary for our nonprofit. Our current board secretary is amazing, but he decided that he won't renew his term after half a decade or something like that he spent with us.
Oh, wow.
So we are looking for a new board secretary. So anybody who wants to apply or knows anybody who would want to work with us, volunteer with us, this is a good opportunity. But maybe let's use this even as a job description. Maybe
Perfect. Yeah.
I'll stop sharing, but I put it in the chat.
I do have one thing that we can maybe go back to and how you like.
Yeah.
We'll get there maybe later. It's a little bit more complex. So I don't want to mess us up, but I have an idea for later if we have time.
Of course.
Let's see.
Until you're searching for it, I'm just quickly addressing a question. Will we get a copy or a link to this webinar? This is amazing, and I would love to be able to watch it. Grace, first of all, thank you very much for the positive feedback. I'm very, very happy to hear that you're creating value over here, and it's not just a waste of time. And also, yes, everything is shared, recorded, and will be shared publicly and sent around in an email. And another question, hi Adam, will we get the custom GPT links? Yes, everything that we create over here will be shared, the back end of it, if we use any system instructions and the links themselves.
Okay, perfect. So are we looking for your board director role?
Yeah, let's just do a board director. Do you want to paste in the total job description? Let's just do the board director for a nonprofit in Seattle, or sorry, not board director, board secretary of board secretary. Yeah,
I'm going crazy. Board secretary for a nonprofit.
Yeah, early stage, small nonprofit. Maybe that guides it.
Early stage. Do you want to be specific or being?
Let's start here.
Like general, see what it comes up with.
General, let's see what it comes up with. And by the way, note to the audience, like we've seen Jake having some typos and correcting it. Yes, you can do that if you want. In general, I started not caring. It understands my typo mistakes, and I rarely say hi. I rarely say please and thank you. I know the Terminator is coming and they're coming for us. I might be the first one to be slaughtered by them, but tough love and do not care about typos. It will understand you, but be nice to your AI.
On that same train, like I've been generally pretty, like it'll give me an example I don't like, and I would go through like basically yelling at the GPT. I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. if you're doing that, it's generally helpful to be like, "This is wrong," and give it why, and then tell it what it needs to do better. Just yelling at it won't get you any
Yes.
results, even though I've
Yes,
definitely done that.
yes,
But
yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. So why so good that you say this out loud is, of course, you can just, tell it louder of like fix it.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
it won't work, but what you said, the specificity of what works, what doesn't, why you are yelling at it, what would make you
Yeah.
not yell at it. Like, be very, 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 very specific. And if you have those specificities and you are chatting with the custom GPT, don't like, if you don't want to repeat that instruction all the time, like go and change it, right? Like fix your
Yeah,
system
you can
instructions with those details. But coming back over here, what are we seeing? Looks good.
let's see. It looks like it gave me some questions. What is the this
Yeah,
area?
yeah,
Perfect. Yeah, let's just answer these questions and maybe see what we get.
yeah.
Oh, and
You
in
are
my
answering
experience,
or
you
I'm
don't need
answering
to.
it. You don't
Oh,
need to answer it.
you don't
Uh,
need to answer it. We can tell it whatever, but we could just go through and answer its questions.
oh yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So am
Let's
I
see.
dictating or you're
Uh,
giving the answers?
oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's do the mission. Our mission is to elevate the people industry and create a space and a community of practice where people professionals can show mutual support and grow together. Sorry for using you as my EA. This is not the best use of anybody's time.
Let's just answer the one question.
Let's just
See what it
answer
gives
the one
us.
question, and
Yeah, we
also
can.
maybe you can just copy paste in the whole job. Oh, and by the way, this is good because look, it's not allowing you to do BS and run forward. It's like,
Mhm.
nah, I still have these questions. Maybe do the following. I put in the link into the chat if you can find it. Just paste
Oh,
in
absolutely.
the whole JD and tell it like, no, this is the whole information that we have. Here is the job description. It actually has like time commitment and all that in there, so you can paste it in. And if everybody wonders, the time commitment is somewhere between 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 hours a month. If somebody's thinking about applying, do you have the URL or should I ping it over to
I
you?
need the URL. Is it in the studio chat?
Yes.
Mm,
I'm
I do
putting
not
it
see
right
it.
now. It's
Okay,
there
okay.
right now.
Thank you.
Everybody bear with us. Is the first time for us doing this, so we are also like figuring out the where's the chat, where to click, and all those things without causing too much havoc in the public space as well.
Okay, it's verifying that I'm a human right now, so it could be time to answer a question if you have one. Oh, there we go.
Isn't that funny when bots ask you to prove that you're not a bot?
For context.
Such a
All right.
well-defined role. We see some sycophancy over here. And if somebody is unfamiliar with the term, sycophancy is when your AI is, how do I say this nicely? Too kind with
Gaslighting
you.
you.
And gaslighting you sometimes as well. That's a different one, but yeah, sometimes when it's agreeing with everything that you say. Okay, what's over here? Process-minded, tech-curious, operational, professional, who wants to apply, perfect, likely titles, motivators. Yeah, yeah, okay, good starting point, right? Like this could be, by the way, where and when do you use this? Like imagine you're doing your intake with your hiring manager, right? Like regardless if you're agency or in-house, like you have a job description, you have some sort of context, and you have these like brainstorming sessions, unless you're the type of sourcing machine who is always here's the job, here's the search string, and just run. If you do some sort of brainstorming sessions on planning and just repeating the same thing over and over again. We said like, hey, if you want to do something, you have an hour for it. You spend the first 50 minutes with planning. the same thing goes with sourcing as well, right? Like before you go and search for any candidates, you gotta go and look through it. But specific platforms, I do like it. Scroll down a little bit. Yeah, community niche channels. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Isn't
Hashtags,
that bad?
good. Not bad for a first
For a first
iteration,
try,
right?
yeah.
Right. Like I
Let
would
me see if
argue
these
that
booleans do work.
I don't think that
Probably not.
Boolean might be too long. Like here is one thing that we didn't tell it. We didn't tell it where will we source and how
Mhm.
and what tools we have access to. So that Boolean might not work. But let's check. Let's check that. Run
Bet
that
this one
X-ray.
will.
Run that X-ray on Google. What are we
Just
talking
some
about?
of
The bot
these.
can source, right? And is it a real profile? Like, yeah, and it works, right? So a real profile, it didn't do the sourcing for you. It just wrote you the script itself. But like we see that maybe this could be
Yeah,
better a little bit from a searching string standpoint. But like, is
it
your
found
it found like the
it
search
found
string
somebody.
works. It found
Yeah.
somebody, right? Like I think the first iteration is that like it's able to write a string, right? Like it even gives you like outreach messages that it's volunteer appears. Keep on scrolling. It's a bit long for my taste,
Yeah, this is
but you know what it's not doing? At least
it
it's
starts
not
with
finding me
but yeah.
well. It's not, I hope this email finds you well. Like that's a good thing over there. But awareness, like week 1 plans, week 2 plans, good start. What do you dislike?
I think the messaging, I would never send that message.
Why?
Uh,
Why?
well, it
What? What?
starts
What
with
would you
I
change?
came across your profile. I think generally starting with the person you're reaching out to instead of starting with yourself is a little bit better.
Okay.
It's also just a little long, and I
Okay.
mean, you can tell this is wrote by an AI. It
Okay.
doesn't, but I mean, yeah.
What would you change on it? Like what let's imagine that you just hired your first like sourcing intern assistant, right? Like
Okay.
maybe a person who is like first job, first professional job, has not much clue about how to do this well, but they can reason, they can listen, and they can understand, comments and instruction sets. What would you give this little AI intern as as an instruction set or as a guidance on like what to change or how to speak exactly, how to write exactly?
I'd probably because this is let's assume this is a first message. I'd probably give them a pretty simple framework for how you first reach out, and that's based on recently I looked at I don't know if you've seen SourceCon 2025. They came out with what do you need to like send a good first message, and just somebody's name isn't really enough anymore. So I would start out with like, hey, I noticed uh, your recent work on such and such a project. I think you might be interested in this. We're doing similar work. And then maybe some of the job description, some of the selling points, like why should they join? And then also, I think it's pretty important to include like what type of work will they actually be doing practically? Because if I'm going to take a job, I want to know like how complex is it? Do I feel confident doing it? And then
Okay.
why should I join?
let's
So,
let's do this. We'll do two things. We'll do these edits and we'll tease the configuration page for next time where we'll
yeah.
make this slightly better. So we did this bot, we tested it, it's okay, we want to modify something. So where do you do that? You go back to your custom GPT, you find it or you pin it, you have it somewhere ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you do this little like drop down over here and you go under edit GPT, you click the button, and here we are. And you have still the same views of this is like the preview of what you're building, and you have the create and you have the configure. And let's just quickly just look at the configure over here. This is what the chatbot created based on our initial like input. It pre-filled the configuration. Give you a description, how somewhat vague and short, like system
Mm-hmm.
instruction over here. We'll work on this next time. Some starter jobs. It didn't upload any knowledge files. We'll do that next time. Like this is, for example, somewhere like if you have that like guide of like how to write a good message
Mm-hmm.
and it's a
That's where I put
PDF,
that.
this is where you put that. And in the system instruction, you reference that file that, hey, every time you are asked to write a message, this is how you write a good message. First, read that file. But that's more advanced functionality, and we'll do that next time. Let's go back to the normal like chat function.
I do have one note about the system instructions.
Yeah.
If this is like we don't need to go over everything because it's a little complex. But let's say I do like the way this works currently. I currently because we're not using knowledge. The only thing it uses to work is these instructions here. I tend to, if I like how it's working, I'll copy and paste this. Basically, like that saves that version of the model. You can put that in your notes, and then whatever changes you make, say it goes sideways, you can always just copy paste whatever your previous instructions were back in, and then you're back there. If you're worried about it breaking, just copy and paste this field, and then you're good.
Yes, so good that you bring this up, because this is so important, not just for custom GPTs. This is important in life, right? Like, whatever you're creating, whatever you are, constantly updating, if you're breaking something, you want to be able to revert back to the previous stage of it, right? So as when you create project documents and you start like sending it over to people and you work on it, you have like V1, V2, V3, as you have with your files, with your code, with everything, right? Like if you treat this as a living document and you want to be able to roll back, save these, because there is no undo function over here, right? Like, so if you set it, you cannot just like undo and scroll back. So extremely good point to bring it up. Anything else? Any other comments before we put in the write better?
No, I don't want to get too.
Okay.
This is just like the first one. We'll cover it later.
In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. So where do you save them? Do you have a GPT to save all of your previous instructions? No, a GPT is not an autonomous agent. It's not, when you're not interacting with this thing doesn't exist. This thing is not, in the background like little elves like running around and doing stuff. This is not that. This is a conversational, conversational chatbot that augments you. It's you give it a prompt, it answers something, and that's it. Outside of those interactions, this thing is not alive. It's not able to store anything. It's not able to remember anything. So it is your responsibility as a user to handle that and remember that. So how I save it, as just Jake said, I copy it out and save it in my notes. Like I have a notes folder where for all my chatbots, I have all my system instructions and the versions of that and all those things. So hopefully that helps answer the question. Let's quickly just edit this, and we'll leave like 10 minutes at the end for Q&A that we promised. What we said is let's see the demo gods again. Jake, remind me, what are, quickly in 2 sentences, what are the modifications that you want? You want the person to...
I want personalized messaging regarding... Yeah, let's just start with that. Personalized messaging. And make it shorter.
Okay. I want something to be modified in the system instructions. What I dislike about this assistant is that everything is good as a starting point except the messages. I think the messages are way too long. Imagine that in real life scenarios, this chatbot would also receive as an input both the job description and also, if it's about writing, targeted profiles, maybe a copy-pasted resume or a downloaded PDF. Like the chatbot will know more about the person it's trying to message. So with that in mind, create some clearer system instructions around the messaging part of it to make it shorter, make it more targeted, make it speak directly to the candidate that it's messaging. And yeah, just make it like human sounding, direct, like person to person, non-repetitive, like AI slop and big words and all those things, okay? What I like about like speaking to my AI assistants is that it makes sense of my rambling, right? Like when I'm writing, I think that I need to get my thoughts together in a structured way because I'm typing it out. Versus here I'm just like speaking to it and generating even a profile picture for its software. I didn't ask that, but it's doing it. Let's go. So yeah, talk to your machines. Until got it. Okay. Hit a snag. No system instructions. So the system now writes short, natural, human sounding outreach messages. Let's see it. It's longer. It's longer. It keeps the same thing, but here is the instruction set. So it put it in there, right? And of course, if you dislike that, what it's in here, and you have something more specific, maybe your employer brand, maybe your own like tone and voice guide, all those things, you can add it in as text over here. You have a maximum of 8,000 characters that you can put in this instruction set, or you can also attach it in the files, but that is for next time. That is for next time. One thing that let's quickly do, let's give it a picture. Let's say like use DALL-E. That's the old GPT like image generation. Let's give it a face. And I think
I did notice yesterday the image generator was down for this.
You were cutting off Jake over there for a second.
If they haven't.
Okay, we back. Sorry, we had a moment. Okay. We had a moment of freeze. I don't know what happened over there. So, Jake, you were saying something and you got cut off. Maybe it was just everything stopped. I couldn't hear you. You couldn't hear me. So
okay.
That was a problem in the air.
Go ahead. I was just letting you know, yesterday DALL-E's image generator did appear to be down. So if you don't get a profile picture, that could be why.
Okay.
Because I tried to create a bot yesterday and it wouldn't generate a picture for me.
Okay. Maybe that's what's going on. Let it try to generate that. It did fail. Let me update this. So no picture for now because picture functionality is down. But this is now updated, and you can go and talk with it. It's the same URL. One thing to remember is that if you are changing anything in your custom chatbot, for those changes to be applied, like you need to open up a new conversation. So it's a new conversation thread. But yeah, that's it. Do you want to let me try this? I'll do put in this. And let's see what it comes up with. Any questions? And by the way, if you are joined as an audience member on Riverside, you can join this call, raise your hand, you can come on camera, or if you are watching this from either the live stream on Riverside or LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, use the comments section and you'll be able to message us that we see. Yes, there is the link. The link is in the chat. And also, if anybody is joining online, yeah, it's right now. That should be like clickable as well. Like if anybody, clicks that URL, now you can go and actually see it. Grace, thank you very much for the positive feedback. Happy that we gave some value over here. Until some more questions come in, Jake, what do you say? As a first iteration, if you
well, it looks like it has more questions. I am curious to see what kind of message we get.
Okay, let's try that. Before I answer, let's test what can I Let me do this. I'll give it a, and this won't work, demo gods. Let me get the profile. I'll go up on LinkedIn and you know what? I'll download your profile. Because you are one of those fresh LinkedIn profiles who, you only work in the background. You don't use that much of LinkedIn itself. So you have a somewhat vague uh,
Yeah, I need
and
to work on
short
my
profile, right?
LinkedIn presence.
Which is absolutely fine. So what I did, I just went up on LinkedIn, click download PDF, downloaded Jake's profile, and let's see. Oh, it read it. Technical sourcer, startup focused agency. It's shorter. It's good. What do you say? I message you with this.
I think
You
it's
say,
better.
meh, it is better. Is it good or is it just better?
Well, I think given how much is on my LinkedIn profile, this is good because there's not much
Okay.
to work with on there. It's not like I have any posts or anything.
Okay.
It's better.
Okay. Awesomeness. Let's use the last 3 minutes if no other questions are here. We are doing this again in 2 weeks, same time, same place. We'll actually work on the same custom GPT, right? What are the first two things that you would want this to become better at, or have a capability of doing or helping you with? What should be the first two improvements we do?
Well, I think let's start with giving it a framework for understanding messaging, and then
Okay.
also, if we can, like work on how it targets and creates booleans. Uh,
Okay.
then we're self-contained. We can find the person and message them. We're starting
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do this. We're doing this on the fly. This was introductory session number 1, learning to do a custom GPT. Session number 2 in 2 weeks, Wednesday. What is it? November. Remind me.
Mm,
17th, I think so, or something like that. Will be up on our calendar. If you go up on the Luma calendar, you'll see everything. And in that session, we'll go and teach this bot to write better messages and source a little bit. And maybe in the third session before the end of the year, we'll go and put all this into Atlas, the agentic browser, and
mm.
see how does Atlas source if it has all this additional information and knowledge of like how to find, how to source, how to message. And I don't know, maybe we hire somebody on the call for board secretary position. Let's do that. Let's make that the goal over here. Another thing that I want to put out there is our website, opentalentsociety.org. Let me put that up on the screen. There it is. Click that if you don't want to miss anything. We'll be doing more things like this, more articles, and also if you want to contribute, like this should be bigger than just us. This should be more than just me and Jake, talking heads on the camera. So please, if you have anything to share and you believe in open source and you believe that the only way forward is to be together and figure out this new AI world together, we would want to have you in our ranks. So please go up on the website, sign up, get in touch with myself or with us. It is hello@opentalentsociety.org. And also, lastly, because we think that you just only need a space. If you build it, they will come, they say. So we are trying to build the space itself. We are 1,800 members or something like that, from all sorts of companies. And I think, and we think there needs to be a way for us to just hang. So each Monday, just so there is a reason not to hate Mondays, all the weekend scaries and all those things. Every Monday from 9 a.m. Pacific, I'll be on a Zoom call, just hanging. So this will be the hour, which is free for all, camera on, camera off, not recorded, whatever you'd like. It's basically a community space and a community hour where we come together and we help each other. And maybe it's not about helping each other. Maybe it will be just about being angry about the state of the industry or the world, or just talking shop, whatever we need. But again, this is an hour where we come together, we hang, and we help each other out. So yeah, that was it. We are 1 minute over. Jake, thank you very much for
Thank
being
you.
part of the launch, for showing all the things that you built as well, and all the comments, and sharing your knowledge. I'm eternally grateful for it. I really hope the audience is as well. Any last food for thought that you want to share before we sign off for the next 2 weeks?
No, I think I'm all good here. I'm glad to be a part
Awesome.
of this.
Awesomeness. Well, everybody, thank you very much for being over here. Thank you for hanging with us and learning with us. See you next week in the community hour if you join, and also hopefully see you in 2 weeks where we will go and build this chatbot to be more magnificent. So again, thank you very much. Enjoy the week ahead. Stay curious. See you all next time.
Thank
Bye.
you, Adam.